Okay. Hey guys, how are you? We're hitting it hard today. It's our second session of the day. Welcome to Office Hours. I see a couple more people are joining in. I know Kathy's session just ended a little bit ago, so we might have a bit of a smaller group today. Gina says, "Hi Victoria, I missed an hour of Kathy's call in the middle. Can you give a synopsis?" Oh my goodness, it's so hard to summarize Kathy Heller in her words. She just says things so eloquently and in such a way that is hard to replicate. But she talked about a lot of different things. She talked about towards the end, we started talking about more of assignments and how you guys can apply the things that she talked about. So pitching your music. She told a lot of stories about different podcasters that she had recently come in contact with and the lessons that she learned from that. Or learned from those episodes and learned from those people. She has a really good way of, using other people's stories and finding the lesson in it and, making it relatable to other people. So even if you can't relate to being a podcaster or, any of these occupation that these people have that she interviews, she has a really good way of, using their story to make it relatable. So I would suggest to go back and watch the replay if you missed any of it, but there was a lot of really good just wisdom nuggets in there. There were over 60 people on the call and everyone was just so engaged. I was so engaged. I've known Kathy for a long time. I have the privilege of sitting down with her and talking with her a lot. And every time she speaks is just an amazing conversation. So I wouldn't want to miss that. So yeah, we're going to post the replay. It should be up in the next couple hours. It takes a minute to process. So yeah, I would definitely go and watch it. I learn something from her every single time that I listen to her speak on a call, anytime we sit down and chat with each other. So yeah, if you have the opportunity or the time to watch it, I definitely would go back and do it. Let's see. Jacqueline said, "I'm so inspired. I don't want to sleep for the rest of the month. LOL." Yes, she was on fire today. I honestly, it just got me so excited to think about all of the different things that we could do for you guys and different avenues that we could lead you guys down, because there really is so many other things and places for your music and so many other things you could be doing. She talked a lot about, on her call today, she talked a lot about, during that middle section that you may have missed, Dina, she talked about, having your music supervisors as your customer, but then also feeding your audience as a whole. So, you should be nurturing yourself and your relationships in the music supervision world, but you should also be nurturing your audience at large. And you should also be, giving them content. And she started talking about crowdfunding and how, someone she knows makes $45,000 a month just alone from crowdfunding. And you really don't need that big of an audience. If you have 500 people giving you $2 a month, that's an extra $1,000 and you can grow from there. So yeah, I would definitely go back and watch that. So much wisdom from that class. But I just saw Zion hopped on the call, so I will let him say hello to you guys.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, sorry I'm a little late. I'm actually up in Salt Lake City. I've got a wedding to go to this weekend, and so I had to get up here today. So it's been a travel day. It's been kind of crazy. But I wanted to say hi, and I want to jump on here and answer any questions you guys might have. I actually didn't get to see the Kathy call, so I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it myself as well. But anyway, does anybody have any questions? Wendy, how are you? Let's check in with you. Do you want to say anything?
Oh, I was just, not really. I was just saying hi.
Okay. No worries. Have you had a chance to use the feedback tool?
Yes, actually, I just did, and it was wonderful. I did like many of them. It was really cool.
Oh, wow.
I really like that you set that up. That not only does that help us hear everybody's music, but it's just really good to get feedback, get some real peer feedback, when it's convenient for people to do that, because it's not always convenient when, like, I post a song and say, hey, what do you guys think of this? It's like, well, everybody's got their stuff going on, but when people check in, from time to time, and it's just really great. I'm glad you guys set that up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, definitely send a note to Kathy if you think of it, to thank her, because I had to hire a software engineer to do parts of that, and she's the one that made the investment to do that.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. Well, cool. Hey, David. I'm not sure if you're listening, but hey, what's going on? There you are.
Oh, I'm redoing a bathroom floor today. We had a toilet leak.
Oh, man.
So fun stuff.
That's not fun. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I've got kids and all kinds of stuff going on. So, hey, I have a question. What's going on? What's the latest with the summer animated movie project?
Oh, that is a good question. Victoria actually could speak to that. You're muted.
Sorry, I missed the question. What was the question?
The animated movie project. She is wondering what's going on with that.
What animated? Oh, you mean the one that we were talking about in October that you guys submitted for?
Yes, that one.
We honestly haven't heard anything. I wish that I could tell you more. I should touch base with Kathy about that and the music supervisor who we were working with, Michelle. But I'm not sure if things are stalled on the production side, but, music is the very last thing that goes into a film. So yeah, really not much to report on that, unfortunately. I wish I did have more to report.
We will jump over to listen to some songs if there's no other questions, but if you do have a question, go ahead and unmute yourself. Dina, Jacqueline, Michelle, Bethany. All right. Well, I'm going to look up if there were any comments yesterday. There were quite a few. Okay. So Wendy, you sent a song. Let's check that out. You said this song was written by Mar, PA, and me, produced by David Thiel. It's called Yo Love. Love it. Yo Love. All right, let's check this out.
I'm down, you turn me around. You're in, you're out, what's this all about? I smile and you act so shy, but then you whistle when I walk by. What does that mean? 'Cause I can't get you off my mind. Are you into me? Can you give me a sign? 'Cause this yo-yo love just blows my mind. Just whistle your tune and I keep walking by. You pull, you push with a string wrapped round my head. My heart got me spinning around. You tangle me up, it's insane. What a beautiful messed up game you play with me. 'Cause I can't get you off my mind. Are you into me? Can you give me a sign? 'Cause this yo-yo love is so unkind. You just pull my strings and keep me
That's so cute. Wendy, tell me about it. Or David, I want to hear about this song.
Well, Mar and I just kind of, I don't know, we just kind of brainstormed on this, and she kind of came up with the idea and I ran with it. And she contacted David and he did amazing work on it. It's just a really fun, it was just a playful tune. You know, we were just trying to have fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Was this for a certain, were you going after a certain, I don't know, a theme or anything? Or just,
I think it was for one of the assignments. Which one, David? Help me.
I was thinking it was kind of a quirky one. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one it was.
Okay.
Yep.
That was
Yes,
the first
that was
thing.
for the quirky one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's great. I love it. I think it's really, really cute. I think that it's a love song, and that could limit its I don't know, home in sync. However, it might have a home. I mean, I could see that in a TV show or something like that, in a scene where two people are in love, and I think it's really cute. I like the chorus a lot. I have a couple of little production thoughts on it to make it maybe stronger. I think that the verses, I would sing it a little more softly and more closely, a little more breathy and just kind of quiet. And then when the chorus comes in, then sing it just the way you did, and it would offset it a little bit more. I didn't feel like the verses were very strong, and not because it wasn't. It's got great words and melody. It just, I don't know, the vocals on that just didn't feel right. Mm-hmm. I thought the production, I love that production stuff. I'm really curious, David, were you slapping on the guitar or doing some, that kind of thing on the guitar?
I was doing it on my desk. I was tapping my fingers and scratching the desk. And
I love that. That's so cool.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, and great syncopation. I love this. This feels very Jason Mraz to me. Just very like hanging out at the beach and just a beautiful sunny day and not a care in the world kind of thing. Even though the song is all about love that hasn't been fulfilled yet. But I love it. I think it's a really, really cute song. I think also I would look to maybe tune that whistle. I like the whistle in there. I would just auto-tune that a little bit just because it's so prominent throughout the song and it's kind of pitchy and it just is a little bit like, just a little bit. And there's a couple parts in the vocals I would maybe pitch correct just a little bit too. Just to keep it a little closer to the exact pitch without losing some realness. You don't want to overdo that in any way.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. I can, those are easy fixes, I think. I'd like to go back and redo the vocal and, give it a go. Let's make it work. So thank you, Zion. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Great job, guys. I really like this. I think you knocked it out of the park.
Thanks.
Thanks, Zion.
Yeah. All right, let's listen to another one. Does anybody else want to chime in on that or say anything about it?
I really liked it. Super cute. It reminded me of that Jack Johnson song, Better Together. Do you guys know that song? Yeah, it's like super cute, laid back, like Zion was saying, just like easygoing. Yeah, really great job on that, you guys.
Guys, I just got in. I'm sorry, I'm a little late. This is Mar.
Hey, Mar.
Hi. I was just wondering, where do you guys see this song? More in an advertising setting or more in a TV show? Or you were saying that because it's love, it kind of limits it a little bit, but maybe not. So I was just curious, how would you, Zion, pitch this song? Like, where would you pitch it?
I personally would look for spots about love or, in like romantic comedies or TV shows and stuff. The problem with pitching love songs is that there's so many of them. Every band and every artist has so many love songs or breaking up songs or relationship songs that it's hard to kind of get in through the noise because there's so many to choose from. But this has the advantage of this one is it's got some quirkiness to it, and that sets it apart. It makes it a little different from most songs. Wouldn't you agree, Victoria?
Yeah, definitely. My brain went to just like indie TV shows and, like you said, like rom-coms that have just like more of an like independent feel to them, just because of the quirkiness of it. But also, oh shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh, montages, because of the tempo and the pace. So like a montage scene of like a couple or something, I think that would lay really nicely over that. But yeah, definitely more in the television space.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to check out Jacqueline's now. This is Jacqueline's song, Pink Star. I love the name. I don't know what it means, but I like the name. Is Pink Star your artist name, Jacqueline?
Hey, yeah, that's kind of my sync name, my sync artist name.
Oh, love it. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
All right, let's check it out.
Don't wait for Friday on a Monday morning. Let's leave right now, come on, let's go exploring. Now get your hands out of your pockets and create something. No need for it to be perfect, cause perfect's boring. This is what I like, this is what I like. Oh, get ready, this is what I like. If you wanna feel good, you better stop waiting around. If you wanna feel good, make up your mind right here, right now. Feel good, feel good. I got the rhythm, baby, you got the motion. Together we can make this world our magic potion. Roll with me, we'll skip through town. Coming together now, sing along. This is what I like, this is what I like. Oh, get ready, this is what I like. If you wanna feel good, you better stop waiting around. If you wanna feel good, make up your mind right here, right now. This is what I like. What I like. Feel good. This is what I like. 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 I feel good. This is what I like. This is what I like. If you wanna feel good, you better stop waiting around. If you wanna feel good, make up your mind right here, right now.
Wow. Very cool. Jacqueline, tell us about the song.
It was co-written with Marie and David, and Marie and I got together, and then she brought David in, and he just slammed it on the production. It's just, yeah, it was really fun and amazing and fast.
Wow.
It came together really quickly, yeah.
What was this for, a feel-good theme? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, it was the swaggery, like having fun, you know. It just it came together really quick, actually. And David did an amazing job producing it. I mean,
he's an amazing producer. Yeah. Very cool. I love it. I thought it was really, really cool. I love songs that say feel good, and this says it all over it. You know, if you want to feel good, make up your mind and make some things happen or make some changes, whatever you need to do. This seems very syncable from a theme standpoint. And I like the fact that it constantly shifted in the production. You know, there was halftime at the beginning. Like when the first chorus came in, it was like in halftime, and then the second time it was like double time. That was really fresh and new. I wasn't expecting that, and I liked that. It kept changing. I love that piano. David, can you jump on and tell us a little bit about the production on here and how you came together?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just the piano. I was trying to do something weird sounding with the piano in the beginning, but then it was just kind of like I was trying too hard, so I just figured I'll just go with the regular piano, just compressed it. But no, man, it was a fun song. I did do the. I'm glad that you noticed that with the halftime on the first chorus and then double time on the second chorus. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a good song. I loved it.
Yeah,
we had a lot of fun. So
that's a great song. Marie, Jacqueline, David, you guys are rocking it, man. Y'all need to keep working together. That sounded really good. Victoria's nodding her head like, yeah.
Thanks, Zion. Appreciate it.
It's got a lot of edge to it. It's got grit. It's got swagger. It's got attitude. I love that laugh in the beginning, like in the first verse. You kind of broke up. I got to hear that part again. That was just so cool. Okay, so you say, because perfect's boring. You're like, no need to be perfect because perfect's boring. And then you're kind of cracking up.
Yeah.
Those little moments like that, what that does is it tells the listener that I'm not trying so hard on this. It's just coming together. Things are happening. I'm so good. I'm so talented. I'm so cool. Because that's what you're doing is you're portraying coolness. Swaggerness is confidence, right? And to portray that, you do things like you break up laughing and you keep it in there, you know, even though that may have been planned and you put it in there, right, David?
Well, that was Marie. Marie sang this. She did a great job.
Oh, that was Marie singing.
Yeah, that was Marie singing, and she's got some really cool stuff on the second verse, some background vocals she did.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, that was in there, and I'm like, oh, we got to play that up, you know. So, yeah.
That's so cool. But those little elements like that make your production so much more interesting because it shows a level of carefreeness that's just saying, we're having fun. We're not taking ourselves too seriously. You know, the worst thing in the world is a song that's supposed to be carefree, and yet it's extremely controlled. And I'm very guilty of doing that. But sometimes when you're concentrating too hard on something like your piano, like you were saying, and you got to let go and just let things flow and just let it come out of you. And you did it. It sounds amazing. Marie, I can see your notes. She said, awesome. I decided to keep that laugh in there because I had messed up before on a line. Yeah, that's so good. Michelle says, I want to hear it driving. And now I love it. Dina says, great job, Marie. Jacqueline says, Marie is amazing. Marie is amazing. Marie says, thanks, guys. It was a fun song to work on for sure. Michelle says, keeping the humanity. Yeah, exactly. So I don't have anything to add to this except it's just great. Tell me real quick, David, what do you use for saturation and distortion on your vocals?
I like to use Decapitator.
Okay.
That's my like
my go-to as well. Cool. Very cool. Love it. Victoria, did you want to add anything?
Just that you guys are freaking awesome and you guys never cease to amaze us. Like, it really just blows my mind that you guys are just all like scattered about, but you still like make such amazing stuff. Yeah. So just really great job on that.
Yeah. That's so
Thanks,
good.
Victoria.
Yeah, of course.
We hear a lot of songs, guys, a lot. And so when we're not just blowing smoke when we say, this is great.
Yeah.
This is great. All right. Thank you guys so much for sharing your baby with us. It's so good. Let me jump to the next song. Amira says, can't attend this week, but I will watch the replay. Marie says, I have a question for today. Oh, a question. I don't think I'll be
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm here. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to be here, but I'm here. I'm laughing. Okay. Woo. I have a question about. First of all, thank you so much for like your awesome, feedback and everything. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you going to ask me about On Fleek?
Oh yeah. So I want to I want to ask
wonderful.
about using slang on songs that we write. Cuz so we're debating because I think it's fun to use something like, you know, those phrases like slang that's common right now. And then there's also the thing about what happens in a couple of years when people don't use that phrase anymore, or if, I don't even know, some people might not even have heard about it. So I just want to hear your thoughts on that, and if you think it's a cool thing, and because I've heard songs that are great for sync that just feel really modern, and like the title is a slang phrase, and then that's cool. And I don't know, yeah, I just want to hear what you guys think about that.
So I think slang is fine if it's slang that's staying around. Like there are some stuff that just kind of drops, you know, after a year. There's sometimes like On Fleek. I don't know if that's gonna stay. That's been around for a little while, for a few years. It was kind of made famous by a YouTube video that went famous of this girl with her eyebrows. She is like, I got my eyes on fleek. It's the silliest video, but it was hilarious. And I think that people started, you know, trying to make that stick. I don't know if that sticks. I'm not probably the person to ask. I do know that when you use slang, it's kind of like you're putting a timestamp on it. It's kind of like you're saying, this has been made in 2019. And that may be okay, but it often shortens the life of the song, because anybody listening to that song a few years later would go, oh my gosh, that's from 2019. Do you know what I mean? It has, in production elements does the same thing. There's a lot of things in production that puts a timestamp on it, like dubstep. I was really into putting dubstep breakdowns and what do they call it? Like stops in a song where you get this drops. That's what I'm trying to think of. Every song had to have a drop for a while in pop music, and that was based on EDM stuff. And now people are going away from that. Now, if you have a drop in your song, it's kind of like, okay, that's kind of old, you know. All my songs are now time stamped with that, but that doesn't make it bad. You just be aware of the fact of what you're doing. If it's a conscious decision and you want to do that, and you want to say, hey, I want to put On Fleek in my song, or give me another phrase. I hate that phrase.
Spill the tea.
What does that mean?
See, like spill the beans, or like give me information, like give me the details, the juicy.
Yes, the tea, Brian.
The tea.
You guys are crazy. Never heard that. But yeah, no, if you think it's going to stick, if it's going to be around and you want to take that risk, go for it. It's just a risk. You just know that it is a risk. To me, it doesn't stop a song. Vocabulary is constantly changing. That's one of the most beautiful things about songwriting, is that, you know, some people, I remember hearing people say, how many times do we have to talk about love? Isn't there a finite amount of ways to talk about breaking up? Well, yeah, in our vocabulary now, there are. Eventually, you kind of run out of ways of talking about the same thing. But the good thing is vocabulary is constantly changing. People are coming up with new ways of saying things. Like, for instance, nowadays you hear people say, you know, if you get together with an old friend, they're like, hey, it's been a minute. That's become a common phrase that was not a phrase 5 years ago. And now it just means I haven't seen you in a while. It's been a minute. And that would sound weird 10 years ago, but it doesn't anymore because people say it so often. Or, I don't know, like you hear people say noise, which is the Australian way of saying nice. And they say that a lot in that culture. I was just in Australia. And when they're talking about something, they nod their head and say noise. And that's becoming an American thing to say now. It started as sort of a joke, but it's becoming, I'm hearing that a lot. Maybe it's just the friends I hang out with. I don't know. But yeah, I've never heard spill the tea, but again.
Or like slay.
Yeah, slay. Yeah, exactly. I like that one. So there have been times where I have tried to inject, like I've done some hip hop stuff, and I love hip hop music. if it's done well. I just love it. But it can come across really quickly as inauthentic because hip hop music usually is tied to a culture of urban dwelling, and it has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with sort of a culture in which you grow up in. And so when you come from a culture of, suburbia and you're trying to do hip hop, it can come across very inauthentic. That doesn't mean you can't do it. I mean, there's no, I mean, Twitter may hate you, but who cares? You go with what you love at the end of the day. If that's what you're gifted at, go for it. But it can come across as a little odd. So if you are somebody that doesn't say some of these phrases very often, it can come across as, okay, you're forcing that in there. Now, if it's something you just naturally say and it rolls off your tongue and it's who you are, that's a different story. You've embraced a piece of culture and you love it and it's becoming who you are.
Right. Cool.
Those are my thoughts on it. What do you guys think about that? I bet you all have opinions on that. Anybody want to say anything on that? So
I kind of agree. It puts a timestamp on it, but if it's a big part of the song, like if the song were to say like "Bye Felicia," I don't know if that would work in a couple years. Even now, I don't know if that would be cool still, or But yeah, I think I don't know. I think it definitely puts a timestamp on it, but pop or ads like to be cool. So if you can, make a song about On Fleek while On Fleek is still relevant, you might get some hits from that, or whatever the most current term is. Yeah.
Yeah, and Marie, I mean, another thing is if you know what you want that song to be, like if you know the song is just for a quick ad opportunity and you don't expect it to be around for years, you're not trying to put it on your greatest hits, and it might work better to throw that slang in that song. But if you're trying to write something that you want to be on Spotify for years in playlists, then you want to think about it differently. It's kind of like, what's your objective with that song? You know what I mean? And
Yep.
also you got to remember if that phrase is the hook of the song and you're trying to get it placed, you might be dealing with music supervisors that have no idea what that is, because music supervisors tend to be 40 and up. Not always, but they're not usually of a generation that's hearing that's in the know. Sound like such an old man, I know. Victoria, stop laughing at me. Yeah, Michelle says art is about taking risks and pushing the envelope. Absolutely. Marie, yep. I agree.
Zion?
Yeah.
It's Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, if you look back at songs that have used, the type of slang that you're talking about, so a good example might be "Feelin' Groovy," which was Simon and Garfunkel. Mm-hmm. And you listen to the song now, it dates itself, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody wanted to place that song just for the quaintness of its, slang. So it can probably work for or against you.
Yep, exactly. And that's a good point. And I bet you anything that just a few years after that song came out, that probably sounded dated. But now it sounds cool to us because eventually a lot of those things come back as being endearing. We look back and go, yeah, that was a word. Everybody used that word groovy. Now, thoughts of Austin Powers pops in my brain now when I hear the word groovy. Yeah, baby. But but it's kind of almost like it's cute now. It's not dated. I don't have a bad interpretation from it. It's more like, oh, that's a funny word. I kind of want to hear that because it's interesting. It's amazing how everything kind of keeps coming around, keeps coming back. So many things right now are really embracing retro sounds, retro production, and drums and distortion. And, we finally have the ability to make extremely clean music, sonically clean music. And what do? We throw distressors on it. We throw decapitators on it. and saturators and tape emulators and record players on it, to make it sound like it's on a record player with the pitch kind of warbling a little bit. And, I mean, we do all these things to make it sound more human because that cleanliness is too robotic. And it's really interesting where we're at. We're in a weird position where we aren't ready for the technology that we have at our disposal because it makes us feel isolated. Technology can make it feel cold, make our music feel cold. And we resist that coldness. We want more things to be human. So that is all the songs. Does anybody have another song they want to throw in the mix for a little bit of, or do you want to ask a question? But that we only had those 2 songs in our list on our Zoom call here. Wendy's like, I'm good. Well, guys, thank you so much for jumping on. I guess we can call it a short call today, unless anybody has anything else. Oh, okay. Hey, Bethany, so she wants me to hear the feedback on my update of All the Colors of Me.
I couldn't get Zoom to work, but I have a song. Let me figure out how to work it.
Okay, put it in the chat, and I'll check it out.
Oh my gosh, I can't make this work. What is wrong?
So while you're doing that, I will. We're going to listen to All the Colors of Me.
Cool.
I've been trying to let my colors through, but every time I try, I hold my feelings inside. It's time to speak my truth, share my story with you, push past the fear that I will never be enough for you. It's time to let the whole world see all the colors of me. 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 Each and every day, and be myself too. All the colors of this girl who holds the world, who's stronger than she knows, but never lets her worry show for anyone but now. It's time to be beautifully me. All the colors of 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 me.
Nice. Oh, sorry. All right. Hey, Bethany, can you get on for a minute?
Hello, yes, let me try to open up my...
It sounds so good. Tell us about your changes.
Well, I redid all the vocals because they were just feeling very small and timid, and then I took all the reverb off. Not all, but I brought the reverb way down, added a bunch more percussion, added snare in the last chorus, and I think some swells in the last chorus.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think this is really, really good. I have sung this song many times since we've reviewed it a couple times. This is such an earworm. I remember getting out of the shower and it was in my head, and I was like, "Why am I singing this song?" And I was like, Who did this to me? Bethany. But that's a great song, and I think it's unusual to have good songs about color. That's a hard subject to have cool songs about, and when you find one, I think you got to grab it. I love this song. I think your changes are awesome. I would love to listen to it again. I'd like to send you a link and have us take a closer listen to it and see if there's anything we could do to.
I think I submitted it a couple days ago, resubmitted it to the.
Okay, this version of it?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, awesome. Yeah, Victoria's given a thumbs up too.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it sounds really good. There's not as much vibrato in your voice in the chorus, which made it sound a little bit older. Not that older's bad, but this sounds a little fresher.
Yeah.
And I don't know. The whole thing just sounds better. I'm not sitting here thinking about what it was before because I don't remember specifically those details. I just know I'm enjoying this more.
Yeah. Cool.
So that sounds that's a good sign.
When I recorded all the vocals the first time, I was definitely in, which you've talked about how people go through phases of like ideas of what sync music is. And it kind of just being an assignment that I just was like doing. Versus this time I was like, no, I actually really like the song and put my heart into it. So I think that makes a difference.
I love the percussive stuff, all the claps and stuff. You programmed all that, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
You're so badass. You're so badass. It sounds amazing. I love it. I love that guitar, that dun dun dun, or I can't remember the name.
Cool, thank you.
Bump, 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 whatever. I love that there's a little bit of distortion on that bridge that it had a little bit of airiness, a little grittiness to it.
Yeah, that's new from my last mix too.
Okay, I don't remember that before. And I like that. It just worked because it gave something fresh. There was a new thing to listen to. It's like ear candy. You're giving little fresh little ideas and stuff. The harmonies are really cool. I did feel like the harmonies might have been a little bit pitchy in some areas.
Okay,
but
I don't think I don't know if I tuned the background vocals.
I would do that. I think it would tighten up the chorus just a little bit more. But I think the lead was great. The top line was solid. It just was the harmonies. Something wasn't quite there. But it was so close. It's got great energy. I love the little haze and the cool little things off in the distance. Those are awesome. Little earworms are so good. So great job. Love it.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. Carrie, let's go over to you. Shine. Yes, she agrees with me about those little background vocals. That's cool. Let's check out your song, Carrie. I always love listening to your music.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
You can dream if you want to. Be anything that you want to. Dreaming's easy, let it be. Let's get together, set it free. Feels electric when you're going your own way. You got this, you got this. Like a heart that's full of song, like a groove that's moving on, like a rocket when you're riding on a wave. You got this, you got this. It's time to shine. You can dream if you want to. Be anything that you want to. Like the thunder turns to rain, then the sun comes back again. You can feel the blue sky higher than the clouds. You got this, you got this. You lift your heart like a gift that's so brand new. You can start, you got the gift of being you. You can glow every day, you're rising up. You got this, you got this. It's time to shine. You can dream to. Shine. Be anything that you want to. It's time to shine. It's time. Be anything that you want to.
That's my favorite part.
Shine. Shine. It's time to 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 shine. Shine. You can dream if you want to. It's time to shine.
So tell us about the song.
You moved it right before it got to my goofy.
Sorry.
Which no, it's all good.
It
Thanks
was
for
cute.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cute.
So goofy.
Tell us about it. Sounds like you're having a lot of fun.
Oh man, that was one of the hardest songs I ever did. Actually,
Wow.
it all started for that fashion spot last October.
Okay.
And I met Anne at the event in LA, and she's so cool. It was just, I just wanted to hang out with her the whole time, so I did.
Which
And,
Anne is this?
Her name is Anne Witchman, but she's Excited is her band, and she does like sort of dark electro pop, like super cool dark electro pop in Brooklyn, but she's from Germany. And
Oh, I remember her. Yeah.
yeah, and so we did this song together, and we put it through like a feedback, I think with you, Victoria, like it's what feels like a lifetime ago. We completely redid everything, and there's so many flyovers that it took me like 4 recording sessions or something to get all the vocals, but
There's a lot in there.
and I wrote the song like a couple different times too, because the first version that I did, Anne was like, mm-mm. And I was like, oh God. So yeah, I actually made a vlog for my patrons about this song, like behind the scenes and like the emotional journey that I went on to try and write like a really simple song.
Oh, wow. That's cool. I didn't see you have a Patreon page?
I do. I've had it for like 4 years.
Wow.
I have 17 patrons. Each one is like a labor of love, you know.
That is awesome. How cool is that?
It's something. I talk a lot about it. Mhm.
Oh, hold on just a second. Hello?
Who's there?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I'm using somebody else's house. And anyway, their daughter was looking for them. Hello? So anyway, yeah, okay. There are so many cool things about the song. I love the vocal, how much vocals there are. I like, there's a lot of parts going on, and that's hard to do. You have quite the ear for that.
It was so hard when she was like, okay, this is the first mix is done. Like we turned it in, we got some feedback. She's like, now I want to completely redo everything so that I don't have to edit any of the vocals. She like kind of did some arrangement in the first mix. So I had to like back out and like create a whole new roadmap. Like seriously, just finding a thread to pull on and go like, okay, how many tracks are there even?
Right. Yeah. And actually sometimes sometimes less is more, and it's hard to do. It is hard sometimes to just go, I need to tone it back. I need to pull back on this. I think this song lends itself to have a lot though. It kind of reminds me of I don't know, just like a big band kind of feel. I'm not sure if you're going for that, but it has
Yeah, I wanted to have like a dance party kind of.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way. And I think I like the idea of the horns, the sax and everything. The sax sounds cool. The horns sound so fake though.
I know.
On that part.
The sax player is.
I like the part.
She's from Austria, and she's
wow.
a friend of Anne's, and so the sax is real.
Oh yeah, and you can tell. Yeah, I mean, it just sounds good. It sounds rich. But the horns in the background and the drums, unfortunately, the drums just sound so. They just, I mean, they're setting the groove just fine. They're giving that, they're establishing the groove. You just really need a drummer to come in there and really wail on that song.
I got a drummer, and it wasn't how she wanted it. So she
really
went with her own programming. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, it's not the way I would have done it, but this is very subjective. Of course, she has a different like sort of goal in mind, and if that's the way she wanted to go with it. But it just sounds, the drums sound a little cheesy to me.
Yeah, she wanted it like super certain way, tight.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I like the feel of it. I like the feel of where it's going. It just feels like it's not quite executed where it could be, you know. I like the, you know, you got this is great. Those kinds of messages are really, really good. I felt like the chorus was the better part of the song. I felt like the verses were a little, I don't know, just the melody didn't get me. It felt a little bit like that could have been, I'm not saying rewrite anything. I'm just saying that wasn't my favorite part. It was, I loved your bridge. When you did your stuff and you really showcased your vocals. That kind of stuff is so hard to do, Carrie, and you have a real talent for that. For that vocal production where it's kind of like counter. You know what the word counterpoint is? When you have kind of one melody going and another one kind of going through it, and that's hard to do. I'm impressed with that, really.
Oh, thank you. I love that. That's maybe my favorite thing. So
really, that's very cool. But yeah, I think altogether you've got a really fun, upbeat song that I'm not sure. I can't necessarily think of what I'd put it in necessarily, but it just seems like there's a lot there, you know. I do think
if you have any ideas.
What's that?
I'm all ears if you have any ideas. I'm starting to pitch it. I mean, we just finished it. So
okay, cool. All right. Well, I will let you know if I have any thoughts about that. But I think there's so many. For me as a producer, I would say the horns, the instrumentation, and some of that production has to come up another level to really catch people's attention. But that's me.
Okay. All right. Duly noted. Thank you, Zoya.
So, yeah, man. This is great.
Thanks for taking extra time to listen to it too, because
absolutely,
like none of the buttons were working. I don't know what happened. I couldn't get on this call for like 30 minutes, and I couldn't make.
Oh man, that's
the program work. I was like, I'm right here on the other side.
Thank you so much for sharing your baby with us.
Thank you. It's always so scary. It's just not. It's not getting less scary. I was like, I shouldn't do this. Thanks.
All right. Well, guys, that is it. It is 4:00, and we've got to jump to another meeting. But thank you for coming on today. It's so good to see all of you. Your talent is just always inspiring and amazing. Keep it up. Keep it up.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys. Bye.